Hi, I'm Meg.
And I'm David.
Welcome to The Average Vegans, a podcast to help you live an attainable vegan lifestyle. We're not the ripped influencer vegans you hear about in other podcasts. We're just some ordinary people living in the South, eating plants and loving animals.
And on this episode, I'm talking about 10 things that didn't suck in 2020. 5 each. But and let's be honest. This year has been mostly earmuffs. If you got kids in the room, earmuffs. This year's been a motherfucker. I'm just gonna put it out there, out in the ether.
Been a shit show.
Been a shit show. But it's I think it's important to reflect back and say, let's find some stuff. Let's kind of put a little. It's so easy to end the year of like, fuck 2020, and I straight up want to build an effigy and burn it. But we think it's kind of good to look back and go, let's find some positivity that we can end the year on and kind of reflect back. And might be a little hard, but I think it's important for us. fair enough. But I think it's important to, again, just look back and say, okay, what can we pull out that was good to kind of end this year on a high note instead of a low note.
And we encourage everyone else to do this, and it doesn't have to be big, huge things. Not everything on my list is like, a major event or anything like that. But it's things that have made me feel good during a year when a lot of things made me feel pretty shitty. So I'm excited for my list. And we haven't shared anything on our list with each other, so this should be interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little surprise for both of us. It's it's not gonna be a one shot. I might have to shoot some questions, get some details out of you, but do the same for me. It's okay. We're here. It's almost like this is like a therapy episode of like, let's just talk about something good and kind of pull it out. So one of us may cry. Keep listening. You never know.
Please don't make me cry.
It's probably gonna be me. It'll be me.
Yeah,
just
right.
watch.
Yeah, right. No, so when David mentioned doing this episode, I had a hard time thinking of anything because in my brain it has to be something, big, something major, but it doesn't. And so I think I had to like kind of step back and think a little bit less extravagant. But one of the major things that didn't suck in 2020 was this podcast. So hopefully I stole one of your answers with that.
That was my bonus one, so we're gonna ignore that. I'll end it with an aww.
That's sorry okay. For you.
That's okay.
No, and it's not just because this podcast is going to help people join us in the vegan lifestyle, save some animals, help save the planet, all that good stuff. Not only is this podcast going to hopefully make a difference for some people, but it's a step out of my comfort zone for me. It's something that I said no to for like 4 years, 3 years, something.
A while. I'd ask you constantly. What I was really proud of with you on this one was you actually approached me with this.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's because it's a pandemic and I'm just like, well, I do have a little bit of time. I have a little bit of time, but I think it's also because I was like, why not? I've done scarier things in my life, like why not try? Because I just I don't want rejection, so I don't want people to be like, you guys suck.
No, we awesome.
So I was just scared of that, and scared that I wasn't good enough, but I'm kind of good at this.
Yeah, you're better at that than I am. Better at this than I am. You don't like mumble and like stutter and run your words together like everyone has noticed that I do.
No, nobody notices anything, David.
I mean, I don't have a face for TV or a voice for radio, so I'm just winging it and see what happens.
No, it just I feel like it's a lot more comfortable than I thought it would be. Um, and it's again brought me out of like saying no to things and kind of just why not? And I get that from why do I talk about this in every episode?
Hey, man.
I get this from My Favorite Murder, my favorite true crime podcast, because they're like, you don't need perfection to do something. Like, you don't have to be perfect at something to just try. And they talked a lot about that in a few episodes where it's just like, yeah, it's scary, but like that's only because you expect it to be this perfect thing. And I think I had those like expectations that this had to be some grandiose thing, but it's just a fun, wonderful podcast that I hope helps people, but it's already helped me. So that's kind of great.
Yeah, I had a show before this one that no point in diving into the past that much, but and it was kind of I was so like hyper about like every little thing being dead on perfect, and now and I learned doing that one it's like man it's just like jazz man, let's have some fun with it. So that same thing was like man it's cool. This is if it's a day off or whatever we can do, and just making sure that I keep it light, which helps you keep it light, which helps me keep it light and makes it fun and actually just you know coming up
Enjoyable
with
for people.
like, and then we get to eat candy and ice cream and drink beer and stuff. So hey, man, excuse to
Ooh, you're
consume stuff? Why
foreshadowing
not?
of upcoming episodes.
It's it, man. Just put it out there. Subscribe to the show if you missed your first episode. Get ready for some fun
Please.
stuff. Absolutely. Uh,
Yeah, so that's my one of my these are in no my list, by the way, is not like in some kind of order. So don't take it that way, but
dang.
one of my major things that didn't suck this year was definitely this podcast. And hopefully I'll say the same thing at the end of 2021.
Hell yeah.
All right, you tell me one.
All right. So my first one is actually kind of a bigger life event for me. I started going to therapy.
Yeah, I knew this was going to be on your
That was
list.
my yeah.
Yes.
It's I know there are a couple things I'm working through that I know you specifically would kind of wish would go a little faster. Uh, but and so would my therapist would be like, let's go and move forward with this. But it's some things are a process. But it's helped me with one. It's actually helped me with my oh my god my anxiety. My was it? Oh my god! I always forget the name of it. My it's an anxiety basically that you don't know. You're I write code for a living, but I've been doing it for 15, 20 years. Oh, 15 to 20 years. Oh my god, 16 years. And I'm always thinking like I'm about to get fired.
Yeah.
Or I don't know what I'm doing, and they're gonna figure it out.
Imposter
And
syndrome.
thank you. I always forget the name of it. It's imposter syndrome. And what's funny is I didn't even know what that was until I went to a web conference and I was sitting with one of the speakers. We were just talking, and people kept coming up and like, "Oh, that great talk, loved it." Blah blah blah. And he kind of would just make this like face, like, "Oh, thank you," and they walk away. And he would be nice, and they'd walk away, and he kind of get this like weird, uncomfortable face. I'm like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Imposter syndrome is a motherfucker," and I'm like, "What?" And he explained it. I was like, "Oh my god." That's what
my
it is.
brain.
And then I started researching, like that's exactly what's going on. Where like again, I've been doing this for almost 2 decades now. To
And
the
doing
point,
it well,
yeah,
too.
to the point where like I've told like managers where I'm like I would like to move up and to be more management and have people underneath me, and they're like that would be awesome. We want that too, but we can't pull you off the code because you're fast and you're good at this. I'm like
But you still question yourself
constantly like
all the
I
time.
literally sit down with my
In the same
bosses and
way.
ask, "Are you about to fire me?" In different jobs, and they're
Jeez.
like, "No, are you gonna quit?" Oh my god. So it's helped with that. Helped me understand like, okay, calm down. It's helped with that. It's helped with like I have anger problems that I know that I have. They stem from genes mostly. It's a bit of nature, bit of nature, bit of nurture. It's kind of helped me, like, I have kind of make sure that stays in check and help with other little things like that. And there's other problems going on. What problems? There's things I need to work on that therapy has helped me get through.
It's helped you learn to relax and the
Yeah.
importance of taking a break.
Yeah.
Um Yeah, and that's a big thing for you because not just that you're a workaholic, but you enjoy work. It's almost like you like just solving the problem. So you like
Yeah.
getting it done, you like being ahead of schedule, like that's like a high for you.
Yeah.
So to take a break and just like play your video games or watch TV or play on, watch YouTube is like that's a hard thing for you to do when it's like super easy for some people.
Very.
Um,
That
so to see you like learn to just take a break, like when I text you sometimes and you're like, I'm just sitting on the couch, with the dogs looking at YouTube, I'm like, yes, look at you.
that's
What? Well,
that's
yes.
something my therapist asks me all the time is like, okay, what can you do this week or whatever, until next session that's for yourself. Focus on yourself. What can you do for yourself? What can, because I'm always focusing on other people or other things or responsibilities I have to others and not responsibilities I have for myself. So that's part of the thing of like I always find something that to focus on that I enjoy that's not really focused on someone else. Even if it's like I need to clean the garage. Excellent, do that. That's
Right.
that's a me thing. I keeping things tidy and
Mm-hmm.
neat and picked up is that's something that I want to do. So even something like that.
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely helped me with that. And the one big thing that's had to work on is I'm really good about giving up control. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like having essentially I'm very good at putting others in front of myself to my own detriment.
Okay.
And sometimes my compromise is 100% what the other person wants, which has become problems in my life. So recognizing that and understanding that like sometimes I gotta say like no or like I'm not gonna budge like this.
Right. This is a requirement
Right.
for me.
And the problem is, I found that it was allowing others, not you, you're fucking awesome,
I know.
but
Yes.
I was allowing others to fall into a habit of just kind of like walking right over me. And
Mm-hmm.
not sometimes not even they weren't doing it on purpose. It was just because I set up this pattern that they got used to, and then so it causes conflict now because I'm like, no, I'm not gonna let you do that. I'm not doing that anymore.
Look
And
at
that's
me.
right. And they're like, you're being mean. I'm like, no, I'm just not doing everything. Just not doing everything for you, and I'm not letting you just do what the hell you
Right.
want. Like I'm not going to stand up for myself. So that's been tough. I'm still kind of getting better at that, but that's probably the biggest thing. Other than your great point you made of doing for myself and like focusing myself a little more,
Mm-hmm.
and not letting kind of like I know typically it's like it's like stereotypical of like the man takes control and does and says everything, and I try not to be a stereotype.
Right.
And in doing that, I tend to
And you're
kind of
not.
like, thank you. And in doing that, I tend to kind of give up more than I should. So that's something I've worked on. So mine is started. I started therapy. I started that in
I'm very
January,
proud of
actually.
you.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, almost a full year
Almost a full
now.
year.
Look at
I'm sure it
you.
feels longer than that for my therapist, but yeah.
Listen, I want to be her friend.
Oh man.
I guess we should say that we are recording this
Oh yes.
2 days before 2020 ends.
Yeah.
But this will be released like second week of January or something like that.
Something like that.
So around that time, just so you guys have a time frame on things.
Yeah.
And that comes into play because I'm going to go on to
Well,
my second thing
show number 2, girl.
that didn't suck in 2020, and it is happening tomorrow. So tomorrow is my 20-year wedding anniversary. It is a big one. Whoop whoop whoop. 20 years. I have the marriage license to prove it. We had a week-long vacation planned to travel around California, eating, visiting friends, going to all the cool places like Alcatraz and stuff like that.
Meh.
It's fine, it's fine.
It's 2020, man.
Didn't
It's all
have
right.
I totally didn't have a bunch of spreadsheets and like lists and stuff like you did for Disney. No,
No.
no. We're fine.
We
We're
totally
fine.
weren't. We
We're not.
totally weren't sharing with each other and hyping each other up on both of
I
them.
know we were
No.
so hyped. We were like, look at us taking vacations like
Fuck.
grown-ups.
Right. Wah, wah.
And shattered.
However,
So, however, we have found a few like COVID safe things that we can do tomorrow. We both took the day off and we are just going to spend the day together getting, you know, curbside pickup of some of our favorite food. And we're going to, play top golf, which is outside. So, he can show his skills and I can be really crappy. But we're just gonna celebrate together 20 years of marriage. So it's we have two children, we've lived in 3 states, 10 homes, and we have survived a pandemic so far. That's pretty impressive, I
Pretty good.
think. Um, so yeah, that's a plus. Definitely. It hasn't even
Especially
happened yet.
especially this day and age, you don't really. Yeah, you usually you say like I've been married 20 years over 3 people, not over one.
Yeah, yeah. And we've been through a lot and we had kids pretty quickly, so and got married pretty quickly too. So, yeah,
As
whatever.
I have my eyes all wide, like
Yeah,
I know the stories.
pretty quickly. So, we were kind of set up to be the worst case scenario, and people were like, y'all are just, this is bad, it's not going to go well, this is going to end in a fiery crash. And it
Like
could have, and there were times when we thought it might. There were times, and in any marriage that has gone on for 20 years, every single one of them will say there were times when we thought I might kill this person, it's fine. I mean, like, there are times when it's not the happiest of relationships, but not every day is great in 20 years. So I mean, you're destined to have some downfalls, but we are definitely at a high right now. And I thought it would I was worried that being I work from home now, so and he always has worked from home for like the past 3 years. So I thought maybe combining that would be difficult, but it actually hasn't been. It's been wonderful to just be around each other, and it kind of helps us like manage our family better. So I don't know, just happy. I'm in
I'm,
love.
I'm just saying I've been to your house obviously, and sometimes y'all's so sweet I'm gonna get diabetes. I'm
You
like
mean like
I'm
when
getting a
he just
cavity for you,
delivers
motherfucker.
me with a cup of coffee? He
Yeah,
did that today.
yeah. I was like
I love
I'm gonna get a cavity for you people. Holy crap,
that.
give me
No,
diabetes.
we're definitely still lovey-dovey, and it's weird because we both always look at each other and we're like, I thought I was supposed to like hate you by now. Like I thought I was like not supposed to want to be near you, but no, it's the opposite. I think he's great.
Well,
So it's
goals.
a major milestone. So
That's a good one.
yeah.
If
All
we do this
right.
2021, it'd be
I think
like
it's a great one.
21 years.
Yeah.
My I don't want to.
No.
I mean, like I can't. It's hard to go after that. I mean, it's kind of like it's like following up following up Metallica. It's kind of hard to follow that
You'll be
up.
fine. You'll be
Okay, so
fine.
I'm just gonna move on because I can't add to that because it's too good. So my number
Just go.
two of something things that didn't suck in 2020 is I started doing a non-digital art, which I couldn't. It's weird. Like there's no name for it. So I
Oh,
there isn't. There's not a
right,
name. And so I call it geobolic. Okay,
right,
because it mixes geometric art
right.
using geometric shapes, and there's actually an art called parabolic where it uses lines to make curves. So that actually is a thing, like using lines to make curves, right?
Okay.
So what I do is you've seen it of course, but I'm describing it, people. I basically make a scene where there's a scene or like a design that's triangles and squares and lines and some sort of sometimes overlapping triangles to get depth, and then I use parabolic methods to kind of give it like a curves and shapes, and they all kind of feed in on each other. And what's great is, and again, there's no name for it, so I call it geobolic. That's all I figure out what to call it. Um,
Super trippy. I
it's
love it.
weird, so weird. I'm trying to add colors
I
to it now
love
and
it.
kind of get better at that.
Ooh, I haven't seen anything with color
Yeah, I
yet.
got
Now
one.
I'm
No,
like
you have
really
it.
stoked.
You have it. Oh my god! All right, I'll pull something out while we're chatting. So I thought I'd
Okay.
show you something with color on it once before.
No, I've only seen black and white. Yes. Oh,
So
that looks even
and
better.
what I want
I
to do, I
love.
want to, because people can't see what we're doing obviously. So I do it in pencil, and then I go back over it in a colored pen. I was using a black pen, and I'm doing colored pens. And so
Okay.
what I want to do is get used to that, so I can do it in colored pens to get the like what I want, and then go do is like paint and do look a little heavier in like in the paint on a canvas. So that's what I want to try to do. Because I did an owl for you,
Yes.
I didn't kind of like the end result because I kind of had the lines weird and the grid weird. So I'm gonna redo it physically and get you that way
Okay.
instead of digitally. Um, but I
Yay.
started doing that, and it's because I was doing it digitally. And I wanted to get off the computer. I wanted to get away from it and do something. Because my mom's an artist, like not she's a amateur artist. She does it like as a hobby. And she has something hanging up right there. I'll show you one day. It's a pain to pull it down.
Oh, good. You better.
Um, but like I like my mom's an artist. She can. My mom paints in oil, like really
Yes.
well. And so I have that gene. I want to do it, and I can't. You know me. I try painting. It's like Meg and I actually took an art class together, and the art teacher just gave up on me. You can say she didn't, but she walked away, and I was by myself trying to paint a cat, and it didn't work out. You were like, I'm gonna rose the petal falling off, and all this cool like shading in the background, and oh, it's all pretty.
I really thought I wasn't doing well because I always do, again, imposter syndrome. And
Yeah,
then she was like, step away from it. And I was like, oh, that looks good. And you're over here like, fuck
this is
you.
some. It's like I can't get the eyes right. This is some bullshit. Like I was so bad at it. I messaged her because I wanted to do pastels, and I messaged her like, "Hey, I know you don't do pastels. Where can I go?" And she didn't even respond. I was like, "Okay, that's
Oh,
it." I was like, "Okay, I could take a hint. I'm terrible." But I could have given up, and I didn't. I was like, "I gotta find something." And so I need a hobby, something that I enjoy, that I'll stick with. That I'm not gonna do like every day, but I can kind of go back to and feel comfortable with. And so I did all this research of like how to find a hobby, which is the nerdiest thing to do, is like
I
researching
kind
how
of
to
love that
find a
you did
hobby.
that. Of
And
course.
like one thing that kept resonating with me was think of what you like doing as a kid, because kids don't think about like what they want to do, or that kids generally just like do shit. Not
Okay.
teenagers. I'm like you're a kid, like you're like 8 9 years old. You're just like
Right.
you have no responsibilities. Maybe you gotta pick up your room once a day, once a week, whatever, and like that's it. Everything is just like playing outside and skipping rocks and getting in fist fights. That's what we did because we were boys and we're stupid. But what did I do to
Jeez.
entertain myself, just to keep my brain busy and entertained? And I always like would love to draw like shapes and like cut them in half and like expand on them. It was how I doodled, and I still do. If I'm in a meeting, I'm like
Right, right.
square, and I'm messing around. So I was like, okay, well,
Oh, I'm a doodler too.
yeah. I was like, well, maybe I can build on that, and that's what I came up with, this geobolic stuff. Um, so again,
So he made art analytical, everyone.
yes.
Yes,
So it
made
has,
math. He has to use math to do his art, and that is like the most David thing I've ever
yeah,
heard.
I have protractors and like angle things and rulers, because it has some. Like, it had to have rules to it. I'm a web developer, an application developer. I have to have some sort of structure, right? My brain's like,
Right.
we're just gonna do random things. Like so, even the geometric shapes, me plans out the structure, and then like my spacing of my lines plans it out. But I don't. I can't really. I can kind of visualize, but I don't really know exactly how it's gonna turn out. So that kind of
Right.
adds a little bit of like the artistic, like the and
Kind of
oh,
go with the flow kind
right,
of
like
thing.
okay, well this curves left. I'm gonna swoop it to the right and give it a little bit of depth behind that. Maybe I'll do a solid line here. I can plan it, but also it has a little bit of like the abstract what's going to happen feel to it. So I kind of add that a little bit to it. So it feels a little more arty, um, you know, and yeah, so it's just I enjoy it for myself. I have like a little thing with a bunch of different ones I've done.
It's fascinating. We'll
It's
have to
fun.
share some on our
Yeah,
Instagram
I'll
and
have
Facebook.
to share it with everybody. But yeah, that's my number two. I started doing a non-digital art thing, and I've always wanted to do
Very proud
something.
of
So
you.
yeah, thank you.
Because, like you said, you could have just given up, but you found
And
something,
oh, I
and that's what
have.
matters.
I have a whole thing of like just paints and pastels and
I'll take them.
brushes, and I have you might use it because I have so much shit. I'm like I have chalk pastels and pencil, and I've had
I mean, you could always like make a background of like pretty pastels and then do the lines over it.
maybe, but see, I've tried doing like
Maybe.
background with pastels and it just turns brown. I just don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Maybe I'll have to help you a little bit.
Okay, deal. All right.
All right, so if
What's
we're
your
going
number
to
three?
talk about your craft, I guess we'll talk about my craft, which
Ooh,
is on my list. So, I'm a very artistic person. I'm a very crafty person. I've always been that way. My mother was very kind of artistic, but I don't think she really like, we couldn't really afford supplies. We weren't, we didn't have enough money for her to get like a canvas or paint or anything. But um I I'm a painter. Look at me. I said the words. Not going to insult myself and say that I'm not. I am a
You are.
painter. I'm very good at it. I'm not like I can't sell in a gallery, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it, but I'm always looking for like, some
All right, hold on.
craft.
You're
A bunch of different
there we go.
options, but for Christmas this year, I looked at my husband. God, it was like early. It was right after Thanksgiving. We are just sitting there watching TV, and I was like, "We're making resin crafts for Christmas," and he's like, "Yes, we are," and he got really excited. I was like, "What? Where'd that come from?" And he said he has seen videos and he's wanted to try it. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we just started buying some stuff and making a few little things, and it has grown to the point where we now know the kind of resin we like the most. We've tried like four kinds. We have a bunch of molds. We have all kinds of mica powders that make different colors. We have all kinds of things coming like all the time with new supplies because we have a problem. And I think we're gonna open like a little Etsy shop and sell like just a little few little resin things, nothing fancy, no big deal. But we enjoy it so much that we don't want to stop now that the holidays are over. We want to make more stuff and we don't need this stuff. So like I don't need 50 coasters.
Somebody else can
So
buy this stuff.
um so we gave coasters, bookmarks, and candle holders that are shaped like lotus flowers, um and little like mini skulls in resin for Christmas. That's what we gave people, and so far everybody loves their stuff.
I got mine
um
right here.
yeah, David has his right there. And yours is one of my favorite because you're the first one who asked for like a red in there. And
Oh,
so
really?
it turned out really cool. I
Oh
liked it a
yeah,
lot.
it's almost like gothic almost. It's like a gray and because
Yes.
gray is one of my favorite colors, and I know that seems weird. I just like gray. It's just almost calming to me. It's neutral. It's so calming to me.
I
But
like that too.
what's funny is that there
Yeah, so
is
there it's fun because you can like you holding up to the light, I can see
yeah
it.
there's it's funny.
Oh, I love that.
Where
I
did it
wish you all could see from
where
here.
did it go? There's actually, and I love this so much, and there it is. There is like
There's like a
one.
little spot.
There's a little green like one like green glitter piece. One.
Oh, yay.
And I didn't notice it till I put it. I had it sitting on my desk, and where did it go? And because I'll sit and kind of fiddle with it, kind of because nothing's on it, and I'll spin it and mess around with it. And I looked down, and then my monitor was shining through the side, and it went green. I was like, oh, cool. I don't know.
That
I
is
just
so funny.
I love that little like little imperfection in it, which I mean,
Right.
it's not an imperfection.
Love.
It's
Love.
part of it. Yeah, it's just it's known it was made with love, right? So I don't
Right,
know. I
right,
was like,
right.
oh, a little green speck. I don't know why I love that green speck. I don't know why.
Maybe I should add just like a drop of glitter in every one of them.
Just one.
No, but we are now shopping some names. We've got a list of possibilities. So, maybe by the time this episode comes out, I'll share the link in the show notes so you guys can come see the stuff that we have.
Hell yeah.
It's a fun little craft. It's a little dangerous because it is chemicals. It's a little
Yeah.
stinky. It's got to wear gloves and.
I would burn my house down if I tried doing it.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to be careful and you have to be quick. Like, you can't take a lot of time. You have to have things planned out and you have to be ready and you have to know what you're doing because, like, within, God, 30 minutes or so, it starts to have a chemical reaction. So
Yeah.
you have to, like, get it done. So, at least it like makes me rush through it and I don't sit there for hours wasting time. I like get it done. But then you have to wait also to get your reward, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, I can't do that.
It is. Yeah, so like you can only see the bottom of it and you have to wait till the next day to see what the top might look like, so
Yes.
it's like
See,
But we love it so much.
I am the product of my generation. If it takes longer than 5 minutes, I'm like, this is bullshit. I don't want to do this anymore.
Well, we were talking to one of our neighbors about one of the things we make, and he was like, I could probably sell a bunch of these for like $10 each. And I was like, go ahead.
It's all
Like, because
right.
I'm not. Like, that is not my price, sir. No, so we're going to definitely have like a little Etsy shop, I think. Just so we have an excuse to keep playing with resin.
That'd be
I
cool.
really just like seeing my husband get creative. He's like you, where he has trouble finding an artistic thing to do, and he has like no artistic ability, and he'll say that. I'm not insulting him, he says it. So to see him like play with colors and techniques and stuff, I think that's my favorite part of it, more than even the end results, is just seeing him get all like giddy about his creations. It's fun to see people create things and get
It
happy
is.
about it, right?
Yeah, that's why I love watching you do this stuff. It's really cool. I still think it's funny. I
Yeah.
started to get you like some molds for this, and then it turned out you already had them. So I'm like glad I didn't. I was like, oh, she would love those. Oh, okay, never mind.
What's funny is that mold, I just bought another one because I need two. Because again, it takes so long for them to.
Should have
Yeah.
done it, man. Should have done it anyway.
I love that we both have a craft on our list. That's great.
Absolutely, man. Great minds think alike. My number three of things that didn't suck, and this is it's a goal. It's been a goal that I had, which is an odd one, and you were
Okay.
there actually. A bread machine.
Oh yes,
To make
yes,
a bread at
yes,
home.
yes.
I was like, oh my god. I was like, oh, I literally saw a glow.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, because I just, I don't consider bread like I don't think foods are bad. Some foods are more healthy or unhealthy than others.
Right.
Thinking of food is good or bad can cause a lot of eating disorders. So I try not to have that mindset. But I eat bread. There's nothing wrong with bread. Bread is a whole food.
Right.
It's not processed. To me, something that's processed is something you can't just get the ingredients and make yourself.
Right.
But I can put water and sugar and salt and yeast and flour into a thing and make bread. That's not processed. That's
Now
food.
you can.
No, I can. Yeah, so I literally like part of my meal prep this week is tempeh sandwiches, and it's with I'm actually made in air quotes buttermilk whole wheat this week with it.
Ooh.
Yeah, dude, because I've been making just regular wheat. And I was like, let's try this buttermilk whole wheat because in pro tip for anybody who doesn't know, to make vegan buttermilk, you just take 1 cup to 1 tablespoon, 1 cup of non-dairy milk to 1 tablespoon of you can do lemon juice or really any acid. I use white vinegar,
Yeah.
and it curdles it and turns it into a buttermilk. Buttermilk,
Right.
quotes buttermilk. So I just did that. I made it actually. It's really good. Actually, to me, it made it a little more fluffier. It had a little bit of like
Sounds amazing.
almost like a sourdough taste to it, but like a little sweeter than a sourdough. It's kind of cool. Yeah, so that's mine. I was just like, I was like, I want to make my own bread because bread's like $5. I'm like,
Right.
Um,
And it's a fun thing that you can do because there's so many options. I mean, like, God, it's endless. You can make anything.
oh yeah,
I can't even imagine.
I made banana bread
I
in
should
it.
have got you a book. That's what your cookbook should have been. Dang it.
I'm
For
looking for one now.
Christmas.
That's a good. I didn't even think about that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, you need to find a vegan bread
book,
cookbook since
yeah.
you like specific things anyway. Duh.
I love my book though. I used it. I actually made a
Good.
recipe out of it
Yay.
for meal prep last week. But
So what's your favorite thing you've made in the bread maker so far?
oh, that's a good question. Pizza dough.
Oh,
Oddly
I
enough,
was
pizza
not
dough.
expecting you to say that.
Pizza's one of my favorite foods. Like favorite
Right, right,
things. Like if it wasn't like just like so heavy and dense and just like high in calorie, because I mean if I don't eat pizza, that's like my main meal for the day. I don't eat much of anything else.
Right.
But if pizza had like normal calories, it wasn't just like a big chunk of bread with stuff on it. I probably eat pizza like breakfast, lunch, dinner. That's all I would do. Love just it's just like cheesy, vegan cheesy, and like veggies on it, and like whatever. It's just it's just like I don't know, something about just like it's warm. It's just like pizza.
And you apparently make really good dough.
Yeah, the problem is okay. So the problem I have with the pizza dough is I still don't understand how to like roll it out to make like the crust with it, because I keep
Right.
making it too thick, and I end up with like really fancy
Lots of
breadsticks.
crust.
Because apparently you can make it
Yeah,
really, you're supposed to make it really super thin, and then it
because it fluffs
fluffs
up.
up. But I'm afraid it's gonna tear, so I keep making it too thick. So I'm still getting better at it. But like pizza dough, and then, that's only because I like pizza. I'm like, oh my god, I can make one pizza
Right,
dough.
right.
Because normally when I have pizzas at home, I get like because I don't want to get a whole pizza crust. Because then like I don't like I don't, and also it's like I can't get like the thickness that I like, and actually like a crust on it. And I don't like thin crust and stuff.
You don't have any control over it at
Right.
all. It just is what it
And
is, right?
usually if you buy pre-made crusts like already made to put stuff on it, it's all thin crust.
Yeah.
And I don't want a pizza cracker, right?
I agree.
I like because I also like having a breadstick at the end of my pizza. It's just like a little dip it, and it's delicious.
I
But
agree again.
right, so I take control of it, and so I usually end up getting making pita. Like basically using pita as pizza
Oh.
crust and basically treating it like it's the pizza crust, not putting it inside but on top, and that way it has a thickness
Hmm.
to it, and I can have something to actually chew on, not just crunch. So I like that. If it's not if we're not going to do that one because I like pizza, it's banana bread.
Oh, you have to make me some. I
Oh
want
yeah,
some.
I yeah. So the first time I made it, I didn't put enough bananas in it. It just tasted like kind of like slightly sweetened bread. And this time I was like,
Okay.
"Fuck that shit!" And I just this is an explicit show, so everybody's mere muffed. Um, I I put instead of two bananas, I put four. I was like, four bananas, and that was like it was bananaed up.
Right.
I need to put I have found out I do like it better with walnuts in it. I've done it with and without,
I was
and
going to ask if you put nuts in there. Yes.
I had to put some walnuts in it. I just reminds me I need to get some vanilla. I ran out of vanilla. But yeah, so because of the pizza crust, but if it's a non-pizza thing, it would be pizza dough. It would be banana bread because I never eat all my bananas. And I've had to made it quite a bit. But yeah, I've used that thing
A
more than
lot.
you thought I would. Like I used the crap out of that thing. So
You were
anyway,
so excited.
I was like,
Love
oh my god,
that.
how much is it? I was like, are you serious? Where's the lady? Come here. You take Venmo? Is it
And
PayPal? What
what's
are we doing here?
crazy, like everything else she had at that yard sale was like way too much money.
Yeah,
Like that one mirror was $100. I'm like, girl, this is a yard sale. What are you doing? But then like scored with the bread maker.
yeah.
Dang, David,
I was like, I'll
stealing
fight
all the
Meg for this. If we got to
deals.
fight. I'll square up.
No.
Let's do.
Nope. I was like, you can have it. I don't need another gadget in my home, thanks.
I don't understand that statement. I don't know what that means. So
All
that's my
right.
number three.
All right, so my number four is concerns my 16-year-old daughter. Now I was trying to decide, like she's just been a joy. She's through this pandemic. She has had the hardest time, but she has been so like there for us when we're like having a hard time, and she's like been so sweet. So I was like, I could talk about that, but then I was like, she's learning to drive. She's doing very well, like way better than I expected. I would like light years better than I expected. And I was like, oh, I could talk about that. And then I was like, no, I know what it is. She has found a love for thrift store shopping this year. Now, we
Ooh.
don't go very often because, again, there's a pandemic in the world, but we do like to like go to Goodwill like once in a while, or to like a little thrift store near us that has clothes, or we go to like yard sales and stuff. But she has found a love for finding the good finds, and she's got like mental list of the things she's looking for. So she wants like a champion shirt, or she wants, some like boys, like the shorts that boys wear, because she likes to wear those around the house. And then she goes to the store, to Goodwill with me, and you can see her like looking through the racks and taking the time and like doing the work, and then finding a score. And I can hear her be like, Mom. And she'll like hold it up over the rack, all proud of her find. And then I swear, as someone who has loved finding the gold like in the junk for majority of my life, seeing my daughter find a love for, you know, not fast fashion, but like the reusable thrift store donated clothing is like a joy that I didn't know would be so much of a joy. Like it brings me such happiness to see her get excited about the things she finds. Plus it like helps my wallet because it's obviously far cheaper. But it's something that we can do together. Like I literally have to tell her, we can't go to Goodwill every weekend. We could die. Can we just like calm down? I have to like control
Simmer
her.
down.
But she finds something every time we go. And she used to make fun of me for my Goodwill addiction. She'd be like, "Did you go again? Are you serious, mom?" But now I have to like again stop her from wanting to go all the time. And it brings me such happiness. It really does. Silly, I
Well, no,
know.
it's great because it's bonding, which I think is something that we kind of all need now anyway. So it's that really great
Yeah.
bonding experience, and you're sharing something together, and that's like yeah, that's just y'all doing a lot of bonding. We were talking before we recorded about other bonding experiences y'all are engaged in.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
good.
we,
Yeah.
we we definitely have. We even went and saw Christmas lights together, even though she's like 16 and the 19-year-old daughter did not come with us. So like, whatever, at least one of them did. But no, like we definitely have been bonding more during this pandemic, trying to find ways to like entertain ourselves that we could all kind of get into. So
So
yeah, seeing her excited about that makes me happy.
do you think this is a result of kind of being cooped up the pandemic, or just a result of her kind of getting old, getting a little older and coming into her own and kind of doing that like teenager pull away and teenager loop back to like we're friends. We're
Yeah.
starting. We can start being a little more friends now that you're out of that stage.
Yeah, and I don't even know if it has anything to do with me. I think she's just kind of understanding the value of used items and not needing new, and the value of spending less for, things that she loves if she can, and the value in the hunt for something, which I think is like a great kind of life lesson for later. You have to put in work to find the good deals at a thrift store. It's just not just like right there.
The
They're
best
not just
life
like
lesson.
displayed on a fucking mannequin. You gotta work,
The best life
okay?
lesson. You really got to work to find deals at a thrift store. That's the best of life lesson.
You gotta
One of,
work to find the good shit.
one of my
um,
one of my favorite shows, other than The Office, is Scrubs. Did you ever watch
love
Scrubs?
that show. Mm-hmm.
And there's an episode where Bill, was it Bill? Bob, who is the
Mm-hmm.
head of surgery, whatever that, and or head of the hospital, whatever, and he tells kind of like everyone in the room, but talking to a patient of nothing worth having ever comes easy.
Yes.
Which I think is a fantastic lesson to learn. Is like if you really want that thing, sometimes you got to work for it. If you really want that, that sweater or that shorts or that
Mm-hmm.
shirt to wear around the house, sometimes you got to put the work in for it. If you really want that raise, that promotion, or that car, or just to be happier, you got to put the work in to actually get there. It's not gonna just
Right.
jump on you. Yeah.
And I think like there are some of her friends that would never be caught dead shopping at a Goodwill. Never. And what's crazy is they could be wearing the same shirt, but Gabby paid $6 for it, and they paid like whatever $30 for it.
Yeah.
So I like that she doesn't care if other people like are gonna judge her for that. That she loves it anyway, and she's trying to get her friends into like going to thrift stores and Goodwill with her and stuff. When it's safe to do such things, but she's just trying to pique their interest by showing the like deals that she finds. Look what I got.
Yeah. But it's cheaper.
um
You get more
and
stuff. So
she also, this is so funny, but the women and mothers of the world will find this interesting. She's wanted to learn how to walk in heels, and the heels that I have here are a little bit too like tall, and her feet are too like bigger than mine. So I let her find a pair at Goodwill that were like $6, and now she can, they're really really cute, they fit her perfectly, but now they're little heels and she can learn how to walk in them without me spending like $20 on a pair of shoes that are going to kill her. So There's like little things like that that just kind of make life a little bit easier.
Is she still like baby giraffe in
Baby
it?
deer, yeah.
Whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What's funny with heels is that heels were originally worn by men.
Okay, why?
It was just fashion. Like men wore heels,
Okay.
women wore flats. Like
Oh,
basically
see.
it was swapped, and then I think it's from where you started switching as we kind of like the women to kind of become kind of break that ceiling, and
Hmm.
then it kind of like over time rotated the other way around.
That's so
And as
weird.
women wore them more, men wore them less, and then it kind of flipped to yeah. But yeah, if you look at like old Victorian like paintings and pictures and drawings, you'll notice that men are wearing these like really like almost like stilettos, like really big heels, and
Yeah, I guess I
women
never looked at
aren't.
their feet.
Yeah, look at the feet next time you look at like Victorian age like paintings and stuff, and the men are wearing heels, like legit heels, like you would wear. A different style shoe, obviously, but they would
Right,
still
right.
wear
That's
like a
so
hard heel.
interesting.
And then women started making the transition to wearing heels too, and then men kind of went out of it. So interesting, little bit of a
Love,
history
love.
there. History there. Yeah. Uh, we good? My number four.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
You're number
All
four.
right. Number four. Something I did today actually is
Oh
but
goodness.
I got back into trail running.
Yes. Oh yes, yes. This is
Yeah.
a good one for you.
I used to do it like a lot. I would go like I used to go every weekend and run over at Kennesaw Mountain. I haven't moved to Kennesaw or even near Kennesaw Mountain in years. Um, and early this year, as I kind of started warming up, I was like I got to do something else. And this is also part of therapy of do something for yourself. This is actually I started running again because of some stuff that came out of therapy. Um, and so I went to the shoe store over here. It's like an outlet shoe store or whatever. And they have of course, it's places like two football fields in size, but it's like the
Right.
men's section is smaller than my office. It's ridiculous. So I'm like, and of course I'm on my phone like researching like each shoe, and I go on Amazon and making sure it's like a good
Reviews, all that
the
stuff. Yeah.
reviews, make sure it's priced well. I mean, like if I can get this on Amazon for $20 cheaper, you know. But actually, the place I went was priced really well. So actually, they beat Amazon in a lot of cases. So,
That's weird.
yeah. So now I found a well reviewed shoe, and I was like, I'm gonna start trail running again. And I have. I've gone almost every weekend. There's the only time I don't go is if it's just stupid cold, like it has
Yeah.
been past couple weekends. This actually got warm today. I was like, oh my god, it's like getting in the 50s. I can go run today and be fine. So I even have some like jogger sweatpants that I put on when it's cool, and I have a long sleeve shirt. And I go out and run. There's a place I'm not gonna tell you where I run because that's something you don't want to because tell on the internet and out in the world. Like here's where I go once on the weekend. Come find me.
Attack me.
Come see if you can catch me. You can. I'm not fast. Uh, but yeah, I go and it's about 4 mile trail. I don't run the full 4. I usually walk like a quarter mile to warm up, stretch my kind of walk, kind of do lunges and stretch as I walk. Run about 3 to 3.5 ish. Total. Like there's like once or twice I'll stop to kind of like catch my breath or like I'm outside. I trail run. I like running in the woods, like in the trails.
Right, right.
Um, I don't like road running. Um, or like treadmills are boring. Road running. Blah, 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 blah.
Wow.
Road running. It's just it's hard. I have a bad knee from a motorcycle wreck and also mosh pits. So that concrete hurts, and it's also just I don't want to run where people can like drive by and stare at me as I'm running. It's uncomfortable.
Right, right.
But in the trail, I can run up and down hills. I also have ran Spartan races, which I want to do again when things
Yes.
calm down. I'm gonna get into that again. And so trail running will get me back into that. But yeah, so yeah, trail running. I
And
haven't.
it gets you out in nature too.
Oh,
And
for
like,
sure.
oh, anything to get me outside when it's not freezing, obviously. But I know that's been good for you, and I love that you make it a priority,
Yeah,
no matter what you go. Like,
yeah,
and I know that it's like sometimes you save it for a part of your day where you're like irritated
yeah.
or bored, and you're like, I'm just gonna
That's
go
what I did today because I'm
trail
not.
running.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm off for the holidays. I'm working these 2 weeks. I'm like, all right, I gotta get out of the house. I'm gonna sit in the house.
Mm,
Nothing I can really do around here, so I'm just gonna go out for a run. I primarily do it on Saturdays. Like I get up, and I Usually I get up and I don't I drink a bunch of water because I gotta hydrate before I go. I change up and I go for a run. Run. It takes about 2 hours or so, give or take. And come back. I usually have whatever I want for breakfast. I don't like to exercise on a full stomach, so I usually eat breakfast, shower, and then take the dogs to the dog park. And like
Love it.
that's half my day is gone, but not really gone. It's utilized, And I've
Well, when it gets warmer, I'm going to make you try new trails in
oh yeah,
different
you
spots.
need to come out
Yeah.
to mine, man.
Well, I'm not going to run with you. Okay.
Oh, all right. So,
Nope.
I'm not gonna make you run, but I want to clarify. It's not really a run. It's like my run, a trail run, is more like a brisk speed walk or a nice slow jog.
I'll do a walk
We'll do a
with
walk.
you.
It's a fun. It's really pretty. It's a fun little hike. So again, I'm not gonna say what it
Yay.
is.
I love
Yeah,
that. That's a good one.
yeah. That's probably like it's done a lot for me just mentally, just getting out. Granted, I'm not. I have headphones on. I'm like blaring like screaming metal or actually it's usually like Hate Breed, some sort of like
Oh my
Slipknot
gosh.
radio, um, Stickman, who's actually a Atlanta native. He's a vegan Atlanta native. He was in Dead Prez as a rap group, but
What's
it's
up?
actually the only rap album I actually would listen to. I'm not a big rap. I don't think he's rap person. I'm not a big fan of like
Wow.
rap. But it's a great album. It's called Workout. He has Workout 1 and Workout 2. He just came out with Workout 2. Listen to that. And the podcast, if there's one like I really would like, really like, okay, to finish this. And a lot of them actually have been, the ones that podcasts I do listen to when I'm running usually interviews.
Oh, okay.
Or it's a podcast called Those Conspiracy Guys. And most of their podcasts right now are just
Heard
like,
of them.
yeah, and most of theirs right now are true crime.
I was gonna say, are you gonna be like me and just listen to murder stuff while
Yeah.
people are, could be near you in the woods?
Yeah. I'm running with behind me. I'm like, am I gonna be the next victim? No, okay, I'm good. No one's behind me. But yeah,
Listen, I'm a definite look arounder because I'm just like I'm paranoid from the stuff in my ears.
right. Well, I'm paranoid from
I
the stuff in my
love that
head,
you're
but it's
doing
different.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I will go on hikes with you. I will go on walks with you, but
I'm hold you to it.
no speed
That's
walking,
fine.
no jogging. But
That's a.
yes,
I'll
I love
forgive.
that you're doing that. It's a good one on your
It's
list.
fun. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
And you're
Um,
number 4.
my last one.
Or 5. I'm
I
sorry. Yeah.
have like two that I'm trying to debate between, but I'm gonna go with this one. Um, so I have to start this by talking about something that wasn't so great because like the end is the good part. Okay.
Okay.
So, in May, we had a massive flood in our home. We have a two-story house, and one of the toilets in one of our upstairs bathrooms overflowed for about 45 minutes to an hour and a half. We're not really sure how long, before anyone noticed because it was like 2:30 in the morning. Thankfully, my husband works evenings and he was in video. He was downstairs out of his office and there was water pouring from the vent from upstairs. So the flood went through most of the upstairs and then downstairs and messed up downstairs too. So in the end, it was about I think it was 45 to $48,000 worth of damage. Um, and that was on top of having like pandemic fears and all of that stuff. This flood like truly was one of the worst things we've gone through as a family. Um, because it destroyed a good majority of our home. The good part of this, the thing that doesn't suck about this situation, is in the end, everything was fixed. Even though we were out of our home for 3 months in an Airbnb, which was not good times, everything was fixed in our home, and you would never know the difference. There have been, I think, there's been like two people that have come into my house uh, since then that knew it before, and they have no clue, like no idea that anything has changed because it looks pretty much exactly the same. The flooring is different, but no one notices that but us. And it's only, a little different. The cabinets are the same color. I mean, like things are just basically kind of the same. So no one even notices. It's almost like we didn't, that never happened. We didn't go through hell over the summer. We didn't have the shittiest summer ever. Like it's almost, you can almost forget that it even happened. Which is amazing because
Very.
again, it was awful. It was so, so awful. We built this home 4 years ago. So to see it destroyed 4 years later was heartbreaking. And it wasn't like, we did something wrong. It was just like an issue with plumbing that just destroyed things. But it was a hassle dealing with, contractors and stuff. I really would like to shame some people publicly on this podcast, but I won't. You're lucky. I will say shout out to Allstate for being phenomenal, greatest. Normally, insurance companies don't get props when they're good, but they did great. But yeah, the thing that didn't suck about 2020 is that everything was fixed to the point where I forget those 3 months ever happened. I forget that it even occurred, and you can walk in my house and have no idea
Yeah.
because it looks basically the same.
It's almost creepy because I saw it obviously before, during, like
Right.
you share pictures and video all the way through the process.
Hmm.
Like that is, it's like because when I came over, Thanksgiving, was it Thanksgiving or something the first time?
No, you came over to get our pictures taken for the
Oh, that's what it was.
podcast.
Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
holy crap! Like the only way, only way you would know is if like the bathroom like counter's a little taller. That's
Yes.
it.
The
But
bathroom counters are way taller, which really
it's
bugs
weird.
me a little
Yeah,
bit.
but I mean, that's not negative because like the thing is like I know because like I've been in there, but no
Right.
one else would
Right.
ever know like something happened. And that's it. That's like the only thing that's like it's
Yep.
again to a point where it's almost creepy.
It is, yeah. And then the we have brand new carpet upstairs, and it almost is exactly the same color as the old carpet to the point where you don't really notice unless like you really have been there. Um and then the flooring in the evil bathroom is what I'm like, I still call it the evil bathroom. Um
Shame the bathroom. Just like
that we changed that flooring, and that because like we hated the flooring that was in there before, so we took that opportunity to be like, okay, we made a mistake when we built this home, let's change that flooring.
right.
Those are the only, that's like the only thing that's noticeable that's different. The walls and the ceiling and all that stuff was obviously repaired to the point where it looks like it never had any damage done to it. uh in our we had just bought brand new um couch, like with electronic recliners, all that stuff. And our couch, in some miraculous way, never got damaged. And the company that like packed up our stuff and like stored it for a while, they cleaned everything that they stored. Anything that may have gotten any water on it, they cleaned it. So now like things came back even cleaner than before.
Nice.
It's like, thanks guys.
And what I love about your number five, one of my favorite things about it is it's definitely finding that silver lining, which I think is very very important. It is super easy to look at something and go, "This was trash." Oh my god! And then it's and finding that silver lining can kind of be difficult. And I know
Right.
when I brought
Mm-hmm.
this up to you, the five challenge, like, oh, I could think of three, but five, oh my god! I'm like, that's why it's five. I could think of three too. Five is even hard for me.
Right.
I'm like, oh my god. So,
Mm.
and the fact that you took that, which could have been just crushing, and I know like all the heartache and the stuff you went through with that, but to find those silver linings, I think is important for you, honestly,
Yeah. Yeah.
and something that everyone can learn from. Of just
Right.
and not I'm not saying all tragedy or something silver lining. Not that's not necessarily true.
Right.
But important is to when something does happen that's considered a tragedy or something that's just traumatic and devastating in your life, to go, okay, what can I learn from this? What can I get out of this? What is the end result? There's something that can actually put the spin on it to kind of like have a better understanding. And I'm not trying to come across as a toxic positivity. If something is
Right.
bad happens to you, Nick, everything you felt in that is absolutely correct. When you're upset, when you're depressed, when you're all this stuff that I know you went through, that is completely justified. And it's also justified to say, okay, we recovered. Sometimes
Yeah.
recovery and coming back on the other, just coming through the other side of something, that
Mm-hmm.
in of itself, which kind of sounds like where you're heading, you're kind of coming from
Yeah.
with that, is
Mm-hmm.
in of itself a silver lining of like we actually recovered, we came back from it, and in some areas even better, new
Yeah. In
flooring.
some areas, even
Yeah.
better. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And there have been some things that have happened this year that don't have silver linings for sure.
Oh yeah.
But this one for a long time didn't seem like there would be. It really didn't. It felt like we were going to get so screwed in the end. But in the end it's perfectly fine. It was just a struggle bus for 3 months of weird staying in someone else's house, kind of strangeness, but and seeing my home destroyed. But we also learned, a lot from that situation. So I'll end my five with my public service announcement. You should, if you have women in your home, this doesn't, well, I guess it does apply to you, kind of. But if you have women in your home, especially if they have long hair, clean your drains of hair. A simple clog in your tub can also clog your toilet. Did you know
I
that?
did
Didn't
not.
know
We
that.
know now.
Didn't know till there was a disaster.
The more you know, a little star goes across the
Yes.
podcast
So like
screen.
we're like very good about cleaning our drains. We definitely are. It's like not something we neglect, but we obviously did not do it enough. And I tell everyone I can at any point that I can that you should clean the hair out of your drains, which sounds disgusting. Yeah, it is. It's gross. Clean it
But
all the time.
it's also reality, people.
$45,000 worth of damage from some freaking hair clogging a
I'm telling
freaking
you.
thing.
Just do what
So
I
I
do, man. Shave your head. It's easier.
there you go. I do. Todd says the same thing now, but we stand there after we flush the toilet and we wait. We just check.
It's like, all right.
I will stand there for 30 seconds and be like, "You gonna do anything? You gonna do anything weird on me now? You cool?" Because I'm terrified of toilets now.
It's like, what,
Listen, you
I wonder
learn
what phobia
things.
that is.
2020, terrified of toilets.
2020, the year the toilets attacked.
Oh God, I'm gonna cry.
Yay,
That was
someone's
a
going to
good
cry in the
one.
episode.
That was a good one. Oh shoot, my cheeks hurt.
Oh,
Okay.
mission accomplished.
Oh, that was a good
Uh,
one. Okay.
okay, so my fifth one is I kind of it's kind of the Gabby thing a little bit, I guess, because it's like related. It's like personal, but it's not me specific, I guess.
Right.
But my brothers moved back to Georgia.
Yes.
They live in North Carolina. We had like we're stereotypical boys growing up. We fought a lot, and me and my brother Philip, we had knockdown, drag out fist fights, and just we did not get along. Like we were growing up. We're a little. We see eye to eye on a lot of things now, but growing up we were very different people.
Right.
So, but now like they've moved like they went to North Carolina. My brother Philip's my sister-in-law and their kids went to North Carolina for Philip for work and just for to kind of get his life straightened out. It wasn't like he's not a criminal and breaking the law and had to get it's just kind of like just his
Different
friends.
scenery.
It's his friends are being stupid and keeping him out late and he shouldn't have been at home and it's just distractions and not getting his head straight. And he's like, I gotta go somewhere where
right.
there's no one. There's nobody. It's just us. I can just kind of do my own thing and just like really establish my family and who we are, and not kind of be pulled in 1,000 directions and distracted and whatever.
Right.
So that was great for him. And my brother Taylor kind of did the same thing. His thing was he's the youngest of the three. So it's
Okay.
kind of he's taking a little longer. Was getting his his bearings and getting those wheels turning. I'm the oldest of three. I was like out the door ready to go when I was like 20. I was like, I'm done. Well, I've been here too long. See ya. Love you guys. I got, but everyone has their own pace. This is not a knock on anybody in my family. It's everyone kind of
Right,
moves
right.
and makes, decisions, life decisions on their own pace. And his deal was, I got to go somewhere where I don't really, where I have to fend for myself, where I have to like do my own, I got to do me. Like there's no one else can do me for
Right.
me. Which was good for him. So he moved up there where Philip was to kind of get his bearings and then get out on his own. And then Philip and them came down and visited for the holidays. I think obviously not this. Well, they're back. So like last year, I think it was, and saw some friends. You know, and they've been in North Carolina for 4 or 5 years. I think it was.
Oh, wow.
So the friends that kind of like acting a fool, and Philip hasn't. And sometimes wasn't him. It wasn't my brother doing anything. It was just distractions of like friends like coming over when they shouldn't and stuff like that. So distractions.
Right.
Most of them have either moved on and they're not around anymore, or they've got married and they have kids, so they've settled down.
They've grown up. Right.
Right. So he's like, things are calmer down in Georgia now. I've established myself and the family's established ourselves of who we are as a unit. We need family and friends around again. We're very lonely up there. So they moved back down to Georgia, and Taylor has recently followed as well for the same reason. He was by himself. His friends and family were kind of down here, and they're settling in. He wants to kind of be back to it again. My brother Philip came back into town when he moved back down here. I took him to his first. It was actually a metal concert. It was his first metal concert and his first concert at all, and it was actually a band called Cattle Decapitation was the headliner. Which I know sounds bad for this podcast, but
we're on a vegan podcast.
The lead singer of actually the lead singer, I think the guitars are both vegan.
Okay.
All right. They even have a song called I think it's like Vegan Genocide or something like that. Basically, and what it is basically the story of like why you should be vegan. Essentially, what the whole thing is. But yeah, it's I went there and that was like his first show. Was like, oh my God, holy crap! When I'm in the mosh pits, I'm like going crazy, you know how I do. So that was cool. And Taylor's down. Of course, they came down. The pandemic, because the cow decapitation was like back in like January, February when like nothing was really going on yet. Once things settles back down, I think we're all gonna come back together, and I do something. Either it's we're not gonna go vacation together. I'm gonna take them to a concert. Like I'm like, boys, you come with me. Us three boys are gonna do something stupid. Let's just go. But having them back in town, you know me. I keep my friends, my circle of friends small. I have my family my family's large, like not immediate, but overall. Like I have aunts and uncles I never met. Not like third uncle removed, twice removed on my mom's side. Also my dad's nephew. No, like I have aunts and uncles I've just never met because they're like in Oklahoma and in Mexico and California and Chicago, all over the place. So what family I have, I kind of keep them close, and what friends I have, I keep them close and small, and I kind of keep that small circle around me. So having them back is awesome. In fact, they were older and get along is awesome. So we can kind of do stuff, and
huge plus.
Oh yeah, like I'm the only vegan in the family, but they completely respect it, and they're like, "Hey, that's cool." In fact, Philip and sister-in-law before they had their childrens, they actually went. They've actually gone to vegan restaurants with me and stuff, and like thrown down, had no problem. So yeah, they're completely supportive. Yeah, totally supportive. They have no interest at all. I mean, if they want to, they know me. If they want to, like, hey, what can I do better? I'd help them, but they know I'm there if they want to go that direction. So it's cool having them back in town. I'm looking forward to hopefully in 2021 and beyond, kind of hanging out and doing stuff. And it also means my nephew is back in town, and he's 7?
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, so he's at an age where he's at that fun age where he can communicate and do stuff and whatever. And he and I are super alike. Like my mom was like, "That's you when you're little." Like it's a creepy copy and paste. It's very kind of keeps himself quiet. And smart kid. Not trying to toot my own horn, but it's like sometimes too smart for his own good. Like he'll debate you, and it's like, all right, dude, you make a good point, but you're also a little kid. Go to bed. It's like, dude, it's bedtime. I keep it in my house. I'm like, hey, you're gonna head to bed. You get sleepy. Well, I had a nap today. I know, but you need to go to bed. Well, I had a nap for 2 hours, so technically, don't technically me, man. You're like 7 years old. Go to. What are you doing, bro?
Little David.
He is. My mom said it's creepy because he'll negotiate with you, and it's like you can't negotiate. You're a child, and there's no negotiations, even though you're right, and it's annoying. It's that too smart for your own good kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And that's very much how I was when I was little. I was Yeah, and it drove my parents crazy because it's just
which
kind of
should be
like
your middle name.
too. But and it's he's in like smart kid classes and stuff. So and he I get along. He's also really sensitive, and so I was a little like things hurt his feelings really easy.
Right.
Surprise.
This must
Uh,
be so exciting for your mom and your dad too.
oh yeah.
Having everybody back,
Oh, they love it.
As a
Yeah.
mom, I can imagine it'd be
Yeah.
like a Christmas present in itself.
Oh yeah. So yeah, and of course they're doing their own thing with the during this whole situation, but that's its own conversation. Um, there's some things we don't see eye to eye on.
Well, that's a wonderful number 5.
Yes, that's a yeah. I can go on and
Yes.
on, but yeah, I'm happy to have them back, and my nieces and nephews in town and stuff, so we can kind of reconnect. So, and of course, my bonus
And
was
I think,
starting a podcast.
well,
Take it from-
I kind of have another bonus one
okay,
since
you
I
do your
ruined
bonus.
it.
You do your bonus.
We have been able to keep our friendships going because we have like a little group of friends. And, with some people, I've kind of, fallen out of frequent communication. But in our group, I talk to everybody like all the time for the most part. And I think that's kind of a wonderful thing that maybe we don't give enough props to, that we have made the effort and everyone
Yeah.
has tried to like keep our friendship going. We did a secret Santa thing recently, and then we like, social distance exchange presents, and it was freaking the highlight of like the past 6 months. I swear
Oh
to
yeah.
gosh, it was the greatest thing ever. But yeah, like keeping our friendships going during a pandemic where you can't really see each other. I mean, that was the first time we'd seen each other since March, so that's like it's a big deal. And I think it's a huge thing. We should be pretty proud of ourselves for not like letting those friendships kind of, not become a priority.
Yeah, I think in this day it's kind of easy to kind of like let things slip by and kind of curl up on your own little ball. And we're all that's the thing about we're a small circle, so it's great that we know each other well enough where if like you're like, I need a week off from social media, if y'all need anything, my number, bye, and we're like, bye, see you in a week, and we don't get our feelings hurt. You're like not just like ghosting us for a week because
Or
like,
we
hey,
can like not talk. Right. And then like some of us just like we just don't talk for like a few days, and then I come back and there's 70 freaking messages in our group, and I'm like, "Oh man, I'm going to be here for like 20 minutes trying to catch up."
it's like what happened today?
I love that about us.
Yeah, and there's it's
And I love that like we have very supportive friends. They love this podcast. They love that we're vegan. They're all very vegan friendly. So I guess kind of our bonus thing that didn't suck for 2020 is a shout out to our friends for being pretty kick ass and sticking with us and loving us and all that good cheesy crap.
so shout to Jonas, Katie, Melissa, and Rosie.
There you go.
Much love. Doing
Love
the
you
little doing
guys.
the little heart thing with my hands.
Oh, jeez. I'm not doing the hard thing.
No, do the beat where it goes back and forth. Close to the
He's
camera.
really doing it,
Until
people.
Toad's doing it. Shout out to you guys. You definitely made, as Mega's pointed out, you definitely have made this much more tolerable. Through all of our
Yes,
weird Slack
yes.
conversations and
And a big thank you to anyone who has listened to this podcast too. Like is my final thing that didn't suck for 2020. It's our listeners across the world. What, David? What?
no. I want to give a bonus to you though actually, because you've actually
God.
you've done a lot with the group too. Our group of friends too, like keeping us talking and communicating and meeting up and going all the way. We meet up somewhere like down at Rosie's house to go to a yard sale to see Rosie and Katie and see them and
Right.
stuff like that. So you've definitely gone far and beyond and outside the realm of expectations to kind of make sure we've all stayed incommunicado and connected when it feels like it feels like we're
Well,
miles and miles and galaxies apart. So my
It does
my
feel
bonus
like
is
that.
thanking you for keeping that going. Especially through
Well, you're
through all this.
welcome. I'll keep bugging you guys and nagging you in
Please do.
2021 to get together, when we can, and it's not
Gonna get-
scary.
Gonna get my jabs and get my stick to my arm. Be like, yay! I can start
That's
like
right.
doorknobs.
No, still can't. Gross. All right, so that is the end of our 10 things that didn't suck in 2020. And of course, We want to hear from you guys. What things in your personal life didn't suck in one of the suckiest years ever of existence? So please, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Pocket Cast, or anywhere else you get your podcast fix. Make sure to leave us a review, pretty please, and recommend us to your friends, family, coworkers, strangers, the delivery driver, your Amazon guy. Of course, follow us on Instagram at The Average Vegans, also on Facebook, or email us at theaveragevegans@gmail.com, which will have show notes, links, and more on our website. And of course, you have to let us know your vegan story, your favorite vegan treats, and of course, the things in 2020 that didn't suck in your life. You can find something.
If we
See, we
found
pick
stuff,
small things. You can do it.
they found stuff. You can find stuff. Trust me.
That's right. That's right. And that is it for the week.
All right. Until next time, guys. Bye, guys.
Bye.